This is Miss Amanda, and she is going to be with us today and teaching us our lesson. Can you all wave to Miss Amanda? All right, so you need to pay close attention because she's going to be asking you guys some questions about different things and maybe asking some of your input on different things. So make sure you're being really good listeners. And when you answer or ask a question, to talk really loud so everybody can hear you. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started, and I'm gonna turn it over to Miss Amanda.
All right, thank you. Hey, boys and girls. Let me see if I can share my screen here with you guys. I've got a little PowerPoint here just to keep myself on track. Can you guys see that?
There we go. I think we can see it now.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm just going to have to move some stuff around on my screen here so I can see. Okay, so like Miss Ashley said, my name is Amanda, and I'm going to talk to you guys this morning. I'm really excited to be with you guys. We're going to talk about routines and schedules and how important they are. If you're thinking to yourself, I don't know what a routine or a schedule is, that's okay, because that's what we're here to learn about. But before we get into that, I want to review just a little bit about last week. If you guys remember last week, you learned about stress. You talked about what it is, how it affects our bodies, maybe some things that we can do to cope with it. Let's see, oops. Okay, so could anybody tell me something they remember from last week? What are some things that cause stress? What are some ways we might feel stress in our body? Can anybody tell me?
Does anybody remember anything you remember about stress from last week's lesson? Raise your hand high so I can see it. If you remember. Okay, I'm gonna go over to Brunson. Oh, Brunson, you might have to unmute yourselves. I can't do it from my end. There we go. Okay, can someone at Brunson tell us one thing they remember about stress from last week?
Yeah, I can see. Like, stress means if you're angry, you're sad, or huge, like any kind of feeling. Like mad or sad, or happy, or angry.
Good job. Did you hear that, Amanda?
I did, thank you.
Anybody else at Brunson have another thing to add?
Presley, go ahead.
Maybe you are stressed because you did bad on a test, or you and your friends had got in a fight, or your parents were fighting.
Yeah, good answer.
Yeah, those are great answers, thank you. I can tell you guys really paid attention last week.
Does anybody else from Kernersville or Spees or Ashley raise your hand if you remember something from last week? Okay, I see a hand raised over at Spees. My friend over at Spees, do you want to come say your answer? No, we're going to be shy at Spees. That's okay. All right, anybody else? Raise your hand high. Okay, I see a hand raised at Piney Grove. All right, someone at Piney Grove want to come, or Kernersville?
I can't. Like if your parents be in a fight, or
Can I have that repeated one more time?
like if you have to do a test with your friends and your friends are in a fight, or your parents are in a fight.
Yes, like we have to do a test, or if your parents in a fight. Good job. Okay, one more at Piney Grove.
If you have really sweaty hands.
If you have really sweaty hands, yeah, that's a way it affects your body. Good job. All right, good job, guys.
Yes, thank you for those answers. So now that we've talked a little bit about stress and reminded ourselves about what stress is, we're going to talk about something else that might cause us stress, and that's if our routine or schedule gets out of whack. Could somebody in one of the classes tell me what they think a routine is?
So what is a routine, guys? Does anybody know? Raise your hand so I can see. Okay, I'm going to give my friend at Spees. What's a routine?
A routine would be like, so you have something planned for each and every day, like at one time you'll do this, and then after you do that, you'll do something else. And it's like keeping you, like it's repetitive.
Hmm?
Each day it's the same thing. So like,
Good job, Spees. That was great.
Yeah, that's great. According to the dictionary, a routine is a sequence of actions regularly followed. That means a routine is things that you do normally, maybe in a certain order or in a certain way. For example, brushing my teeth in the morning is part of my morning routine. Okay. So here's some other examples of things that might be in your morning routine. Now, we're all different, so you may not do all these things in the morning, but it's just an example. You have to wake up first, right? And for some people, part of their routine is waking up at the same time every day. You might then use the bathroom, brush your teeth, take a shower, then you got to get dressed, eat breakfast, plan your day. Would anybody like to share some things that are part of their morning routine?
All right, I see some hands raised at Brunson. All right, someone from Brunson, share what's part of your morning routine.
I'll take a shower every day. And
That-
brush my hair.
Take a shower and brush your hair. Very good. That's a great example. Okay. Someone at Piney Grove, Kernersville.
I wake up.
Talk really loud. We can't hear you.
I wake up, then I eat my breakfast, then I brush my teeth.
Wake up, eat your breakfast, and brush your teeth. Good job, guys. Those are great answers.
Yes, thank you guys for sharing. Now we're going to talk about a nighttime or bedtime routine. And again, these look different for different people, but some things that you might include, you might straighten up from the day. If you got toys out or stuff, you might put it up. Brush your teeth again. Some people take showers or baths at night. You might do a quiet activity like reading or something like that to kind of help yourself wind down from the day. So next, we're going to talk about schedules, which are sort of like routines. A schedule is a plan that lists all the things you have to do. You probably have a schedule at your daycare, I bet. It might have things like breakfast, reading, playtime, time to go outside, time to go home. And I bet when school was open, you had a schedule at school too. I bet your teacher even had it on the wall. Schedules help us because then we know what's going to happen when and what to expect throughout the day. Does anybody want to share with me what your favorite part of your schedule is?
Does anyone have a favorite part of their schedule? Okay, Spees, I see some hands raised. Say that one more time.
sleep.
Sleep?
Sleep.
Okay. Anybody else at Spees? I see some hands raised.
Waking up in the morning and realizing that the birds are still chirping.
That's good. Waking up and realizing the birds are still chirping. Good job. I think I saw a hand raised over at Ashley.
Now say it. Go ahead.
I ate dinner. I like
Eating dinner.
Eating dinner? That's one of my favorites too. Good answer. Good job, guys.
Yes, thank you guys for sharing. So next I want to talk a little bit about your schoolwork. I know your schedule and routine for schoolwork looks really different right now, right? You're probably doing your schoolwork at daycare, maybe some of it at home. So here's some tips on how to get into a routine and a schedule for that. Follow guidance from your teacher or your parent. Ask for help when you need it. Take some breaks and focus on one assignment at a time. If we look at all of our lists at one time, sometimes it looks like too much to do. But if you look at one thing at a time, it makes it a little more doable. Routines can help us to feel safe and happy. When we follow a schedule, we know what to expect. That helps us to feel calm. And when our bodies are calm, it's easier for us to learn. It's easier for us to get along with our friends and families, and we don't feel stressed. What happens if we don't or we can't have a routine? That can make us feel confused, worried, anxious, stressed, or sad. And when we feel those things, we're not ready to learn, are we? And we might have a hard time listening to our teachers and following directions. We might let little things stress us out. So now I'm going to do an experiment for you guys. Let me stop sharing my screen so you can see better maybe. Okay. Here. These are my friends. This is George, and this is Bob. Can you guys see him? Just give me like a thumbs up or something if you can see George and Bob. All right, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about George first, okay? Make sure you can see. All right. We're going to talk about George following his routine or not following his routine. And let's pretend that is okay. George's mom tells him that, hey, George, it's time for bed. But guess what? He does not listen. Oh, and every time he doesn't follow his routine, I'm going to give him a little shake, okay? He does not get things ready for the next day like his mom wants him to. He stays up late playing video games after his mom asks him to go to bed. He falls asleep and didn't even brush his teeth. In the morning, when it's time to get up, George is very sleepy. He ignores his mom when she tries to wake him up. When he finally does get up, he can't find his shoes. He forgets to brush his teeth because he's rushing around the house. Then him and his mom get into an argument because he almost made her late. When he gets to daycare, it's time to sit down and do his work. Guess what happens to George? Oh no! George exploded. All right, so now I'm going to tell you about my friend Bob. Can everybody see Bob? Let me get George out of the way. So this is Bob. When his mom tells him it's time for bed, he listens. He gets his clothes ready for the next day, gets his shoes together, he brushes his teeth, and then he decides to wind down with the book and reads until he gets sleepy. In the morning, he feels rested because he went to bed. He gets up, he gets dressed, he brushes his teeth. He's good to go. When he gets to daycare, it's time to do his work, and guess what happens? Oh, he didn't explode. He's able to sit down and get to work. Has anybody ever felt like George and exploded? You can just raise your hand if you have. Yeah, that's not a fun feeling, is it? So having a routine or a schedule really helps us to kind of feel calm and ready to start our day. I'm gonna go back to my slideshow here. All right, you guys see that? So what can we do? I want to talk for just a minute about some things we can do if our routine or our schedule gets a little out of whack. You can try to focus on the positive. I know a lot of you probably miss some of your friends or you miss your school, but we can think about the positive things, like think about positive memories you had at school, the things you want to do when you get to go back, or some things that you want to do when you finally get to see your friends again. You can talk to a grown-up. That might be your daycare teacher, it might be your mom or your dad, but talk to a grown-up about how you feel. Do something fun. If you can't do something fun that you wanted to do something else that's fun. And then try to stay connected. Maybe you can't visit your friends or your grandma right now, but you could maybe give them a call or write them a letter, make them a card. What else can you do? You can think about the things that you can control and what you can't control. We can't control that the school buildings aren't open for regular school right now, can we? And we can't control what might be going on at mom or dad's work. But we can control how we treat other people. We can control if we do our schoolwork. And we can control if we follow a routine when mom and dad ask us to. Are there any other questions or comments or anything anybody wants to share about routines? Maybe some things you've had to do different recently?
I see a hand raised at Kernersville.
I sometimes stay in my pajamas all day.
That's been different, yeah.
That has been different, yep, that's been different.
My other hand raised over at Kernersville.
Sometimes I'll just stay inside and stay with my dog all inside all day long.
Stay inside with your dog all day long.
Yeah, we've been having to stay at home more recently, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Kernersville. Anybody? Oh, I see a hand raised over at Brunson.
I've been having to wake up early in the morning to come to here at my summer camp place.
Sometimes waking up earlier, yeah. My other friend that has his hand raised at Brunson.
I wake up early. I have to go here really early. Daddy has to give me breakfast every day and get me a drink, and I come here every day.
Okay, so coming here every day in the morning is a little different with your dad. Are there any other hands raised at Brunson?
Yeah, raise them high.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zoe, go ahead.
I woke up late this morning.
Oh no.
A little late.
A little late. That's okay. All right. Thank you for sharing, Brunson. I think I see a hand raised at Steve's.
I sometimes have to stay at home until my mom comes back from walking.
That's a good one.
With,
All right.
with my baby cats.
With your baby cat. Cool. All right. Thank you for sharing, guys. Anybody else? Okay. Thanks for sharing, guys.
Yes, thank you. And thank you guys for letting me come visit with y'all today.
All right. So thanks to all my friends for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Can you guys give everybody and Miss Amanda a big wave? All right. Thanks, guys.